Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Stephen Bernstein on Sex Mob.
Say something like Sex Mob. How does that differ? Does that differ your approach going into the studio with them?
Well, this particular record that's about to come out on Corbett versus Dempsey called "Sex Mob the Hard Way" was very different, and not every Sex Mob. I mean, every Sex Mob record's been a bit different, but this was extremely different, and that is that this was really a co-production. I mean, it was produced by Scott Harding, but it was really co-created by Scott Harding. So Scotty Hard, as his professional name is, has been working with us since the beginning, and he's actually very responsible for some of the things we do because certain things he did in producing the first record, we kind of brought into our live gigs. Scott is a very innovative producer, and he did, the first four Sex Mob records, maybe five, the first five or six MMW records. He's made, obviously, he's DJ Logic and Vijay Iyer and just so many different people. And he came up through hip hop. And we've been talking for years about, doing a new project together. And the idea of this was that he started the project. He sent me these loops. And some were small loops, some were long loops. One was an entire piece, like an 8-minute instrumental hip hop piece that had all these changes in it. It wasn't like a beat that went for 8 minutes. I'm talking about it was like Beethoven.
A
it,
soundscape.
it was went all over the place. There wasn't that much harmonic material there. There was harmonic material, but there was a lot of different rhythmic material and sound loops. And what I did with each of the loops he gave me was I wrote a piece on top of it. Now, the actual recording process was not that different than anything else I've done. I was just telling a radio interviewer 2 nights ago that I'm way more interested in capturing the sound of musicians finding a moment than I am in creating something that's like so-called successful or good. Like I don't. That's not my interest. I mean, if someone wants to pay me and say I need you to come to the studio and create something successful and good, I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. But for my own records, that's not what interests me. What I want to do is find that elusive, like first spark and capture that. And that's always what I've been into in all my records. And so what we did was we went in the studio with Sex Mob, uh, with Kenny just playing electric drums because it was a small studio, and we recorded either first or second takes of this music that we didn't know really over these loops. Then a day or two later, Kenny came and played trap drums, drum set over maybe half the pieces, 3/4 of the pieces. We did a little bit more. I think the days of recording, I would do a few instrumental overdubs, but not punch-ins. Like we kept all original takes, but if I want to add another layer of horns, like I say, okay, on this piece, I want to have 4 horns instead of two. We just immediately add the horns, and then we added a little bit of electric guitars. And Medeski came in. I came in. He sent in because it was pandemic time by then. Both these records were recorded right before the pandemic. Medeski sent in some organ tracks and mellotron tracks. Vijay Iyer sent in a acoustic piano track. DJ Olive sent in his whatever it is that he does. And Scott spent 2 or 3 years editing, cutting, pasting. But that was all the recording was still just us playing in the studio, us reacting to each other in real time. And then Scott takes that stuff and kind of does what it,
Frankenstein's it.
yeah, really Frankensteining. There'll be something I may have written that comes in on the first beat, and Scott says, "Well, I want that to come in on the second beat," and he'll just move the whole phrase over. And I listen back and I look at the chart and go, "Wait, that's not what I wrote." It's like, but yeah, and he made, and it's a really unique sounding record. I think.
Right.
I've never heard an instrumental record that sounds like.
I like it. There was is it one of the songs called Banachek?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is that after the detective?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was Scott's title. That's a great title. Yeah.
Well, I was it reminded me of the the 70s thing. It was
Kevin, though he wasn't a detective, he was an insurance investigator.
oh, okay.
But
Okay.
it was mystery. He was like he was like a kind of Columbo style. Not I shouldn't say. It was a Columbo style show. But
Right.
he wasn't. He was very rich and he was the opposite of Columbo.
Right. Growing up, we had Cannon and Mannix
Oh
were
yeah,
the two shows I
oh yeah,
remember that are in the same kind of vein.
yeah. Actually, yeah, all the same family. Yeah.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.